Hitachi is involved in several transport domains, road transport, rail transport, but also supporting some other transport modes of goods and people, like maritime transport. And Hitachi is fully in the digitalization transformation of this domain. We have several examples in the road transport domain. My team is specialized in the connected autonomous vehicle of the future, and digitalization software-based technology is one of the main innovations we work on, not only from a research point of view, but also as a support of our business unit in the Hitachi Group. In the rail domain, you might know that in Europe, Hitachi Rail is present in several countries, especially UK and Italy now. My team is creating some technology for the connected autonomous vehicles of the future. And with vehicle, I don't mean only car, but also might be a tram. They both are in the same environment, a city, urban environment, and so they need to perceive the environment around them with the same system, or at least similar system. But we are working also on services and for the transport domain. For example, my team provided a basic technology based on machine learning and artificial intelligence to optimize the fuel utilization of some vessels. So we talk about maritime transportation now. You see that Hitachi is involved in different domains of transportation. It's not just looking at rail or road, but putting together. Furthermore, digitalization will be very important also in the infrastructure part of the transport mode. For example, some colleagues in the innovation division, but also in the business unit domain, are working on improving the spaces around the infrastructure used by the people to move around. I'm talking about stations, for example. Train stations need to be rethought, redesigned in order to be more efficient for people's flow, for example, and also for people using the station differently while waiting a train, for example. And I mentioned a keyword is design. My teams are more engineering teams in the sense of research, but we cooperate a lot with our colleagues of design center and user thinking. It's very important to go to our customer and provide solutions that are optimal from an engineering point of view, but also from a design and usage point of view. The city will be transformed in a sense of flow of people and goods. At least this is my feeling. Digitalization will optimize the usage of the different transportation means. The journeys will become end-to-end journeys in an optimized way. A person needs to go from A to B, depending on the time needed, of the time of the day. The person can use different transportation means, and by putting together these means and using digitalization, we can think that the flow of people will be optimized. But also, digitalization can be important in the sustainability and in the cleanness of the future cities. We more and more talk about electrification of the transportation means, and in order to be more electrified, the overall system needs digitalization so that we can optimize the usage of energy that comes from new sources as well. For example, we have a project which is ongoing with a customer in the Nordic area, and with them we are applying artificial intelligence and machine learning, so digitalization, let's say, in order to optimize the usage of the fuel, and in particular to reduce the fuel consumption. And we might think to apply similar technology to fleets of delivery vehicles or taxi fleets and so on. So I expect that in some years, digitalization will have an impact in the cleanness of the atmosphere around the city or in the city. Hopefully this, together with the people flow optimization, will also together improve sustainability itself of the city. Application of ICT technologies, so information and communication technologies, will not only impact on the sustainability of the system, so transportation means. Surely we target also functions and applications that improve the comfortability and the safety of the people going around in a city. There are a lot of accidents related to motorcycles or pedestrians in cities, and we are working on systems that can perceive the environment from a vehicle in order also to avoid such type of accidents. I don't remember the percentage of this type of accidents, but it's pretty high in a city, and we want to reduce it. A city or a region needs absolutely to, in my opinion, cooperate with private companies wishing to improve the transportation systems. The infrastructure needs to be, in some cases, redesigned, and the infrastructure is managed by authorities and regulators. So there is absolute need to push for cooperations, public-private partnership, in order to co-innovate and co-create the new spaces of the future. We are already doing that. My teams, for example, are involved in European or national projects where some of the partners are from the infrastructure side. So we cooperate in order to have not only safe and clean transportation mode, but also safe and clean infrastructure side of that. As we know, in some cities of the world, the authorities prefer to tax the transportation mode in order to have the resources to eventually reinvest in the innovation of the infrastructure. I like very much the concept. Now, the reality sometimes is not always what the plan was. I prefer to say that I expect more investment by infrastructure and authorities in order to innovate their infrastructure. The infrastructure is there, but is very old. And we know that comfortability and safety of people going around is very important. Not only safety, but also comfortability. And we have several cities that were pioneer in the new infrastructure, like metro system, but currently those systems are very old and need renovation. And in this phase of renovation, digitalization might play an important role again. Hitachi is looking at these aspects, not only from an innovation point of view, but also with some business units being implied in discussions with authorities, for example. In Hitachi, there are several entities which are really data-oriented. It means not only from an R&D point of view, research and development innovation, my team has also members who are data scientists, in fact, but also from the point of view of capability of Hitachi to let converge what we call operational technology, let's say hardware, for which Hitachi is very well known around the world, but also IT capabilities of Hitachi. So we need to let these two domains words converge as much as possible. And data are very important. In several examples of my activity, my team is receiving data from customers of Hitachi, and the first phase of this collaboration project or co-creation project with the customers is in fact just to analyze their data in order to see if there is something to do from a digitalization point of view. Later on, we will co-create by running some proof of concept project or proof of value project, we call it, so between Hitachi and the customer, but data as a starting point is very important. Depending on the data type, there might be more availability or not. In Europe now, with the recent very strict regulation related to data exchange, especially related to privacy, we need to be very careful, and we are open to work with the data provided and also in a compliant with the European regulation. In the recent years, Hitachi evolved in its research and development division. We involved and integrated the design division as well in the innovation. When we now go to customer side of our business unit, we go to customer with the target of taking into account all aspects and requirements and pain points of the customer. We want to not only satisfy with a solution which is engineering perfect, but also with a solution that is perfect in design sense, so in terms of usability of this solution. The co-creation projects are very important for R&D, and we push for possible scalability of our solution. Customization is very important, of course, because we have to make business as a company. But from a research point of view, obviously, we would like that our solution is then possible to use in many other situations or other customers. Only while by discussing with the customers and in their premises, together with all the employees that are working, for example, along the manufacturing chain, is possible to extract, to understand the pain points of the customers and to provide later on the right solution for their problems. That's why we continue these ideas of co-creation and co-innovation with our customers. Some colleagues are working on the so-called smart spaces and video analytics, developing some tools that can improve safety in a city from a point of view of, let's say, free circulation without thinking I can be aggressed anywhere. Of course, I cannot go into the details, but yes, Hitachi is also working on this kind of aspects. Some cities are more open to co-create in that sense. Some other cities are a bit more reluctant, but we have some examples and projects ongoing that will surely demonstrate the usefulness of these technologies by Hitachi. We already see around the changes in the transport modes used by people. Young generations, for example, do not see the necessity of owning their own vehicle. They are, most of them are, in fact, not thinking of even getting the license for driving. They do not need, especially in urban environment, because there are other means of transportation. Nevertheless, other generation, and I include myself, I really like to drive, honestly. But when I am in a city, or in some cities, I don't want to drive because it's always very congested and you lose much more time. So depending on the needs, I see that transportation modes are really evolving. We need to let those modes to be more interacting each other so that end-to-end journeys are more smooth and of course still safe and comfortable for everybody. People seems to go in a direction of being free to use any transport mode for the situation. Yes. One barrier to the real deployment of connected autonomous vehicles, and here I refer to cars, connected autonomous cars. One barrier is not really technical. We are progressing relatively fast from a technical point of view to reach what we say level 4 or level 5 of autonomy. The barrier is more from a regulation point of view or from an ethical point of view. What happens if there is an accident involving two autonomous vehicles, insurances, and so on. Those type of barriers and regulations absolutely need to be addressed deeper than what done so far in order to facilitate the deployment of those vehicles, in my opinion. From a technical point of view, of course, there is still some, in my opinion, some years ahead to see real deployment. There could be some specific use cases that can be implemented earlier, like, for example, having convoys of trucks on a highway. But we are talking about a highway, so a sort of simpler environment. But when we are in a city, there are many, many technical challenges still to be solved. Okay, we will solve them. But we must solve also non-technical challenges related to regulations, policies, liability, and so on.